this is the best moment of your life. Tell us about when your mom killed herself 10 years ago or something.
You're going to kill me. It was not recording.
Oh, my God.
Jesus. God.
Jesus, dude.
Fuck.
Brunch. Hit it, boys.
As you can tell from the title of this episode, which is, of course, Active Rat 2, Virtual Rat, you are listening to the second instance of a Brunch Lost Episode saga.
This one I feel okay about. There was no peak that even came close to that Active Rat episode.
Okay, so we're recording this via Zoom, and it has such an easy recording process that we found a way to mess it up. It was definitely on my end, but you're right. There was the Active Rat episode was like the best episode of Brunch ever, and no one will have ever heard it. This, let's see, we can catch everybody up to what we're doing, and now I don't know. Now this episode will probably be like 33 to 40 minutes instead of a super long thing.
We can have a nice little recap, a Spark Notes version of what we had in the initial episode.
Yeah, let's catch him up. Okay, so Dave's been doing a lot of pasta and bread, putting on weight, but you've heard that in a million episodes. How many episodes do I got to say that I'm putting on weight? Right. We've had like 2 episodes of DJ's losing weight and maybe 91 to 300 of DJ's gaining weight. Pete is losing muscle mass. Pete's grocery store situation is a lot better than DJ's. Pete's not had to wait in line. DJ does. He's a little nervous because tomorrow he's going shopping for the first time in 3 weeks. And let me tell you, he's got to get something other than bagels and pasta because all he's doing is putting on weight.
But Pete is at definitely the least healthiest he's ever been in his life. He's not working out. He is not sleeping very much. He is smoking an occasional cigarette here and there. And just drinking 5 to 6 nights a week, and 2 of those nights drinking heavily.
And off of that,
and no sun.
Right. And off of that, DJ, without knowing if he's already said this on an episode, has said that he is just ripe for the picking, COVID-19 wise, because his immune system has probably never been worse, given that he's doing bagels, pasta, ice cream. He's got so much ice cream in his freezer, called Chaboy Nancy Pelosi, that it's just sitting there because he's eating so much bad food that by the end of the night, he doesn't even want ice cream. And that is an eye-opening thing. Another thing that we talked about was the classic This Is Us episode, where someone burns their house down because of the crock pot. We're going to watch that episode at some point and really pick it apart piece by piece, which is tough because I don't watch the show. I don't know if you do, but we're going to pick it apart piece by piece and see who's really to blame. Also, we don't know if that was a storyline in that show, if they're trying to figure out who's to blame.
No, I don't know if that is either. I've seen the episode.
We'll make it one.
Yeah, but I do like the idea of investigating, doing a nice little Law and Order / CSI sort of investigation as to who is to blame for burning down the house and killing the father.
And so, should we do? We'll cut down to an investigation video with "Burning Down the House" playing in the background.
Yes, hell yeah!
Burning down the house. Boom.
Special now we're cooking. David Byrne.
Yes. Oh, see, this episode's so much better than the one that we just lost.
Hell yeah!
I don't know. We were probably 20 minutes into it. We also discussed the NFL draft and how it was a smooth watch and how that was kind of disappointing because for some reason we were expecting a lot of genitalia to be like superimposed via hackers.
You're the one who is expecting just a surplus of dick for
I don't know
during the NFL draft.
We lost the footage, but I think it was both of us. I think we were really saying, man, for some reason we were expecting like Roger Goodell with just every graphic thing just flashing all over the screen, which shows a very basic misunderstanding of television on our end. Because as we were saying, the virtual part of it wasn't like the presentation Like Roger Goodell wasn't like a virtual thing. He was just doing television from inside his house, which has been happening all the time.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't like a CGI Roger Goodell going on here. I was impressed with like the execution of the draft. I thought that it went smoothly.
For sure.
I mean, there was definitely some awkward moments. Harry Connick Jr. singing the national anthem beforehand was a
Worst.
really weird thing. You mentioned that you thought there were too many COVID packages. I completely agree with that.
COVID packages followed by them showing a draft pick where the draft pick is sitting in his home with his agent. Like Drew Rosenhaus has been everywhere. Drew Rosenhaus and Tom Brady, apparently. Drew Rosenhaus and Tom Brady.
That's
just
true.
Absolutely everywhere. Also, the NFL, we didn't bring this up. NFL teams are mad at Tom Brady and the Bucks, and everyone's like, come on. Quit being a loser. Get off their back. Oh, you're being a killjoy. Like, no, you're not allowed to do it.
I mean, it's a pandemic, and he's walking into strangers' houses uninvited.
Right? Like, who's that? Well, how can you see someone being like, "Hey, quit doing that," and then be like, "Oh, you're a real whistleblower. You suck." Like, be mad if you're going to be mad at anybody, and you don't have to be again, like whatever. If you're going to be mad at anybody, be mad at the guy who's walking into strangers' houses during a pandemic.
Yeah, I thought that the draft went well. I will say, I'm very over like the emotional porn of the draft, like how hard they try to pull the emotional strings.
Right. Like, do you have a bad story? Do you have a bad story? Cool.
Right. So this is the best moment of your life. This is the best moment of your life. Here, quick, let me ask you about the worst moment of your life that happened 10 years ago.
Right. One of my friends.
So sick of that.
I forget what it was. Somebody, like a player got drafted, an undrafted player had a crazy story. Like he got shot in the face and lived and like continued to play football. And now he's signed a contract in the NFL. Amazing story. Incredible. But when someone tweeted like the Broncos or whomever are signing this player who overcame like a gunshot injury to the face and now doing whatever. And my coworker quote tweeted with like, ESPN is so pissed he didn't get drafted. They had a whole half-hour thing on this kid getting shot. It was, you are right. It was very much.
It's very shameless. Like it's very, very shameless.
And I think that's clearly like a, hey, what can we rely on? What packages can we have ready? Okay, we'll have highlights on all these kids. And we need everything bad that's ever happened to them because they can't cut away and go to different places because then you're asking for trouble, right? If you're like, okay, we're going to have, Todd McShay wasn't covering it because he had COVID, but if it's like, okay, we're going to go here, 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 and here, then you're asking for trouble. It's a lot easier if you say, okay, we're going to show Goodell announcing the pick, then we're going to show Trey Wingo tossing to something that we have that we're just going to hit play on, and it's going to be easy. And the hit play is going to be them making 2 tackles and then by the way, your dad is dead. Right. Like I was going to say, like the judge sentencing like their little brother to life for a crime he didn't commit or like something horrible.
It's like, congratulations, you're going to Denver. Your dad is dead. How do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. So there was less genitalia, more, what did you call it? Like heartbreak porn?
Yeah. Something, whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
Emotional porn.
Yeah, we're going to lose this episode too, so it doesn't matter. I'll tell you, I'm feeling great about. My energy for this episode, this one A episode,
I don't know
is so much
why.
better.
Yeah, it gave me like a little jolt
because we needed something to happen to us in our lives. This is the biggest thing that's happening in my life. Hey, what's happened to you the last few months? God willing, my loved ones have stayed healthy, and I messed up recording a podcast. That's like a thing. That's like I'm going to tell this story. Everyone I text with the rest of the day, I'd be like, you won't believe what happened to me. Just doing a podcast. It wasn't recording. Why? I don't know. I guess I didn't know how to use it. And the answer very clearly is I did not press record.
Did not press the one button on the toolbar that says record.
Because it was so weird. We were just about to record on Skype. And I was like, you know what? Let's get off Skype. Let's try out Zoom. Oh, look. Yeah, Zoom's so much easier. It just says record. And you were like, you want to record it? Oh, yeah.
This does sound better, by the way, I believe. I
went back. I do have the clip of me telling you because I hit record because it just said record, and I was like,
You're
wait,
like, hey, let me see what this button does.
it doesn't say recording. Let me hit it to see if it says stop or something. So I hit record, and it was like, you are now recording for the first time during this conversation. So I do have a quick clip of you saying.
So it does record both sides, by the way, because that was my next question. Because it says recording on your screen, but not on mine.
Yeah, it was a clip of you talking and me cutting you off, saying, "Oh, you're gonna kill me."
So we know what the cold open is.
But we can't because it's out of context. You're talking about the heartbreak porn, and you said so. The first words that you say are like your mother killing yourself, which sounds like a terrible thing. But I think, but you're very obviously saying, like, okay, you just got drafted. Now, like, let's do a story on your mother killing herself.
I think we can still use that. It'll catch the people's attentions right away.
They'll be like, what could that have possibly meant?
Right.
What's the virtual rat up to? Do you think that the virtual rat, so we're going to say it's going to call active rat to virtual rat. Will listeners think like, ooh, virtual rat? Does that mean there's a rat that's like superimposing penises onto this podcast?
The episode art is going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be a rat with a bunch of like blurred out things around it.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Okay, well, so this is good because I didn't really know. Oh, we talked about Jay Cutler and Kristen Cavallari's marriage. We don't really need to do that. Whatever.
No.
I think that was worth being lost. So the main meat of what we had today was we watched Scream 4. And I didn't really know what else we would talk about because we've talked about this before. We don't want to depress the listener any more than we already do. We don't want to depress the listener with, hey, it's crazy out there. I went grocery shopping and oh my God, there was a woman crying. Like these things are happening, but we don't necessarily need to give people more than they're already seeing in their everyday lives. So it's tough to do
be
like
a little
the first
escape.
Right. It's tough to do like the first 5 to 10 minutes of the episode when we're just bullshitting. So God bless the virtual rat. He gave us seriously a ton to work with. But yeah, the meat of this episode is we watched Scream 4 because our friend Stephen Horowitz tweeted Scream rankings the other day. And it was Scream, Scream 4, Scream 2, Scream 3. And I thought to myself, we did a bunch of Scream stuff recently. And I know that Scream 4 exists. I know that Emma Roberts is in it.
So I didn't know that. I didn't know that Scream 4 existed. You said we should watch Scream 4, and I said, I think my initial reaction was, "Is that a thing that exists?"
And you replied, "I don't know that existed."
Yeah.
It was very weird, and we'll get into it. I'll say this: when watching it, at a couple of points, I was like, "Oh, maybe I have seen this," but I think I ultimately deduced I'd seen maybe 2 scenes out of context, or maybe it was on sometime or whatever, but.
It's also recent enough, 2011, where you could have seen like the preview and been like, have I seen this? And like had the preview lodged in your memory. God knows I don't even remember seeing a preview for this movie.
So this is, I find this very interesting though, because this is, to set it up, this is the 4th Scream movie, obviously, but it comes 11 years after Scream 3. The trilogy was made over 4 years, or released, I should say, over 4 years. In the late 90s, and the first 2 were written by Kevin Williamson, directed by Wes Craven. Craven did the 3rd movie, but Kevin Williamson did not. And then after 11 years, they brought the Dream Team back, and they wrote this one. That was the first thing I looked up. Or actually, I think I looked it up while I was watching it. I was like, there was so much time between them that I feel like they wouldn't have made it unless it was like an honest, like, we're bringing everybody back. And it was, which is pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah. I think I also think that there's so much time between them that they wouldn't have gotten much buzz had they not brought everybody back. Like,
right. It would.
I think at that point nobody would have given a shit about Scream. They'd have been like, this is a try hard attempt.
Right, and it was. You can tell on watching the movie. I think that this was maybe at the beginning of reboot culture, right? Where like everything was getting certain reboots.
Well, they make fun of that.
Right, and it's constant reboot stuff during this. I'll say, before we get into it, I agree with Steve's rankings that I would say this is the 2nd best Scream movie. And for someone who has seen the first 3 a bunch of times, I'm kind of wowed that like I didn't watch this 4th one, and it's better than the other 2.
I would also say that it's the 2nd best Scream movie that I've seen because I've seen Scream and I've seen Scream 4. and this is the second best Scream movie that I have seen.
So I was pretty sure you hadn't seen Scream 3. I did not know about Scream 2.
Did not see Scream 2.
Okay, so this movie it's a 60 on Rotten Tomatoes, which I would say I'd bump it up to a 66, 69 area.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, for what it is, it's pretty good.
Yeah. It is a hearty 150, an hour and 50 minutes for this film, which is, I don't know, a little surprising. I would say that could have been done in 90. But here's the premise. Years later, Sydney has returned to Woodsboro to promote a book she wrote, which, if you've seen Scream, very logical. Remember when everyone in the town died but me? Here you go. Wrote a book about it. Give me money. Now, Sydney's younger cousin Jill, played by Emma Roberts, goes to a high school that is religious about horror films. All any of them care about is horror films. Like, we've talked about this when we were doing horror episodes of like Everybody Loves Raymond and stuff. That every horror movie has one character that's doing in the horror movie, this would happen next. In Scream, it's famously Seth Green.
Right.
In Boy Meets World, it's is it Sean?
I believe it's Sean, yeah. He's the one who knows everything.
So there's always one person who's like, oh, well, this is a horror movie, so this is what should happen next. This is every character in this movie.
Yeah. Literally the entire town is that person now.
Everyone cares about horror movies. So everyone is that character, namely Kirby, Jill's best friend, played by Hayden Panettiere, and Kirby's crush, who is played by, kid you not, Macaulay Culkin's little brother.
Hell yeah.
Did you have to look up whether that was Macaulay Culkin's little brother?
No, I knew it was him.
Did you know that actor?
I knew that he existed. I don't think that I'd ever seen him in anything. I know Kieran Culkin, and I knew that Rory Culkin existed, but I don't think I'd ever seen him in anything. But that face is unmistakable.
Exactly. The face, those eyes. Do the Culkins and I would say maybe the Buscemi's have the market cornered on
like scary eyes?
Those eyes. You spot them a mile away. Those are Culkin eyes. Those are Buscemi eyes.
Kieran got a break. He looks pretty normal.
Who's Kieran? Is Kieran the kid in Scream 4?
That's Rory. Kieran is in Succession.
Oh, okay. So Sydney's cousin Jill lives in this town, Woodsboro, with all the kids that love horror movies. Sydney returns to it with her book and her publicist, played by Alison Brie. And there's never been a character more set up to die in a movie than Alison Brie's character. All she cares about is that more people keep dying. So the book
I don't know.
I
could have seen her being the Ghostface. She had a lot of reasons to.
That's what I'm saying. She had a lot of skin in the game. Like all she wanted was more people to die, so people could so the books would get sold.
Right.
So she for sure had skin in the game. She was not the killer. Did you guess the killer?
I did not.
I did.
Wow.
I did.
I
was pestering Steven with texts or with DMs of like, yo, this movie rules. This is great. Oh my God, this line's funny. And then I was like, also pretty sure this is the killer.
Did you get both of them or just one?
One.
Okay.
And can we spoil this? This movie, is it
came out 9 years ago.
Is it out of theaters yet?
Yeah.
I don't think. I think it's out of theaters. Okay, so the killer is Sydney's cousin, Emma Roberts, and Macaulay Culkin's little brother. And Macaulay Culkin's little brother is one of, I guess, like the two head geeks at this extremely geeky school. Mm-hmm. And the other one, we haven't gotten to my favorite character, but we can
I do like how they set them up as like the nerds of the school, and it's like you all are fucking nerds.
That's what I'm saying. And they throw the biggest party. They throw the party in this movie, which is called Stabathon, where they watch all the Stab movies. And
by Robert Rodriguez, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did it say that?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
this movie's so cool. So the two like head film people there are Macaulay Culkin's little brother and his friend has a hilarious death because when he's about to be killed, he tries to Kevin Spacey his way out of being killed, which the person's about to stab him. And this is, 2011. I guess it makes sense. I think we were progressive enough at that time. This character who's in the movie the whole time has a lot of lines and everything, a lot of dialogue, a lot of things happen to him. It's just never, I don't think he's closeted. It's just never said that his character is gay, which is, I always find refreshing when like a character's sexuality is, as is the case in real life, just like a small part of their thing. So,
but he might not have even been gay. He might have just been saying that he was gay to get out of being killed.
Oh, that's messed up if that's the case. Okay, so I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. But he's about to get stabbed, and he goes, wait. I'm gay. And the guy's like, what?
So
I don't
what?
care. I'm killing everybody, dude.
Well, because they set it up earlier in the movie. It said that basically the only way that you can save yourself like in these horror movies is by being a gay character, because they won't kill a gay character.
Is that true? So, man, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, so they set it up earlier in the movie.
Oh, so it was a callback. All right,
they're basically like those two nerds are giving basically like a crash course on horror movies and trying to explain it to everybody.
I remember this scene.
And so they explained that. They were like, the only way that you can prevent yourself from dying or guarantee that you won't die is by being gay.
Which is really saying something that they're giving this crash course, because they're giving it to all of these people who, like we said, is that like everyone is that character.
I mean, yeah, it's also like very, I know that it is what it is, and like the movie's very campy, but it is absolutely insane to watch a movie where like people are like kids, teenagers are dying and being brutally murdered, and like right smack in the middle of it, the town is having a huge fucking party to watch horror movies in which teenagers are literally murdered.
Oh yeah. So we've gotten
they're walking around with like costumes of like being stabbed and wearing the ghost face mask.
Yeah.
Like the most tasteless thing in the middle of a murder spree.
They even say during it at one point, they're like, wait, should we be watching this after our best friend just died? And they say, they're like, oh, come on, she loved this movie.
This was her favorite one.
Yeah, I'm like, she died an hour ago, dude. Do the cops even know this person's dead yet?
This was her favorite movie before she knew that she was going to die.
Yeah.
Was being shown in the movie.
So we've yet to hit on my favorite character. Do you know who it is?
Oh, God, no.
My favorite character is Jill. That's Emma Roberts' character. Jill's ex-boyfriend, Trevor,
oh, God.
Who is the Steve Urkel of this movie. Every time he comes around, actually kind of an homage to, I forget his name, in Friday the 13th, is it? Or Nightmare on Elm Street? Which one? Nightmare on Elm Street. You know the boyfriend that comes around? Comes around, everyone's like, get out of here, whatever his name, like Josh, like, get out of here, Josh, we all hate you. And then
but they're like,
seriously, we don't like you.
Yeah, but they do say that, and then like he has sex. Like, so like he was wanted at some point in that movie. Right. At no point in this movie is Trevor ever wanted in any scene.
It's incredible. So my second favorite line, or actually I've written down a bunch of lines, but one of my favorite lines is, did I write? Hayden Panettiere just says, look, no one wants you here. Oh wait, no, that's not what I wrote. That's what I wrote down is like the energy they have towards them. Fuck, I can't find it. But she yells something that's like a very overdue, like, you're not friends with any of us, dude. Why are you here? I think that's what it is. She says, why are you here? Very, very funny. An important note on this movie is that there is no explanation for any of the kills. Did you notice that?
No, not really.
So the murderers are Hayden Panettiere's crush, that's Macaulay Culkin's little brother, and Emma Roberts. And Hayden Panettiere kisses her crush, who's like this like nerd guy. He thinks he can never get the girl. And she's like, yo, I'm into you. You should make a move. And he doesn't, so she kisses him because she really, really likes him. And later in the movie, he stabs her because she goes to save him, and he has a knife and he stabs her, and he says, quote, 4 years of classes together and you notice me now, you stupid B word. I'm like, dude, she kissed you. You had to wait for you. What the fuck do you think life is, dude?
Yeah, it got the movie got like incel heavy real quick.
Oh, that's a good way of putting
scene.
it. Yeah, that kid has some incel energy. The second hour is just madness, though.
I mean, at that point, that scene is where it really shifted. That's
exactly. That's the tipping point.
Yeah, that's when I texted you. I go, shit, this movie got dark so fast.
Wait, was it when she goes to save him and he stabs her?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God. Like literally just like the incel popped up in my head in neon bright lights. It was like incel movie, incel movie, incel movie. Like if this movie came out right now, people would be furious about it.
So they went after the wrong movie, huh?
Yeah, like this is what everybody was mad about the Joker about.
Well, so what should the tweet be? People who haven't seen Joker. Joker celebrates incel, blah, blah, blah. Me, someone who has watched Scream 4, an intellectual. Hold my beer. Does that make sense? Or is that combining too many memes?
But it's like an intentionally bad meme. I think it's funny no matter what.
Let's send that from the brunch account. So what would it be? People who didn't watch Joker. Joker is problematic because it celebrates. And
we have to have like clip art font on it.
Me, an intellectual. So we'll make it. It'll like have no text. It'll just be an image.
Yeah. I like that idea.
I love that. Me, an intellectual.
We also have to send the clip of the "Hey, I'm gay" as like a Kevin Spacey.
Oh yeah, young Kevin Spacey.
No, that's old Kevin Spacey being like getting canceled.
Oh right, that's man. The more, I guess I don't think about it that often, but I mean, on what planet you get accused of like this horrible like sexual assault?
But I'm gay.
Oh dear God, Yowzers.
It's so funny. It's just so terrible. Also, by the way, the cast in this movie is unbelievable,
loaded.
And like not in the way that like Scream had an unbelievable cast, because that obviously did, but this is just like cameo after cameo, like heavy hitter. They do
Kristen Bell, Amy Teagarden, Anna Paquin. Lucy. Oh, that was my first note. Lucy Hale. LOL. She's in every horror movie we watch.
Yep. What's it? Julie Taylor.
Yeah, Amy Teagarden.
Yep. And then there's just like a casual Anthony Anderson, like halfway through the movie. And Adam Brody.
So that one of my notes was, who's that other cop? I know Anthony Anderson, and I definitely recognize the other guy. Was he the OC?
He was in the OC, and he was also in Ready or Not.
Oh, wow!
That was like his. I was expecting Ready or Not to be his big like reemergence. So This movie technically came out before Ready or Not, but I'm going to add this on to the resurgence of Adam Brody.
Wait, do we have Bounce Back Brody? Bounce Back Brody, the last year we've had Ready or Not and 2011 Scream 4.
Yes.
Holy smokes! Don't look now.
Hayden Panettiere, I think, is like another one that hasn't aged well. Like Adam, not like legitimately,
aesthetically,
not literally.
I was going to say
Hayden Panettiere looks unbelievable in this movie.
I was going to say, like, where's your Beyonce hasn't aged well take?
She's just a I kind of forgot about her actor.
Oh, she was in. I haven't seen her in anything since Nashville. She was great in that.
I heard that she was great in that. But her and Brody, I think, are like, I forgot about her kind of actors.
Wow, yeah, they could do like a. Should Hayden Panettiere and Adam Brody marry each other, and then they can have they can be like the Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar of today?
Yeah, except I think Hayden Panettiere is already married to Vladimir Klitschko.
Is she? I know that she's married to.
So I would imagine that Adam Brody is not her type. Yeah,
is Adam Klitschko or Vladimir Klitschko what does he do? He's an
boxer.
Athlete? Okay.
He's a gigantic boxer, and she is a not gigantic human.
She's a tiny person.
She is a tiny person. The pictures of them are hilarious.
Wow, very interesting.
Yes.
She's great though. She's great. Big team Hayden. So let's run through some of the. Another.
Ooh, they're divorced. They're divorced. So Adam Brody back on the table.
Hey, why don't you pull a football fan and slide into those DMs? That's a callback to the episode that we lost.
Yeah, that's right. How old do you think Hayden Panettiere is?
Ooh, let's see. She is. Oh gosh. I can't. I don't know if she's older or younger than me. I'm going to say 30.
Wow, right on the nose. She's 30 years old. She's been around forever. I feel like.
Right. Of course. Remember the Titans.
Ooh, Adam Brody is spoken for.
Oh, good for Adam Brody.
Yeah, Leighton
We
Meester.
found love in a hopeless place.
Leighton Meester is his wife.
That's great for Adam Brody. I think she's a very attractive person, and I bet that she's a terrific gal as well.
Meester, I barely know her.
Meester, the Patriots' first draft pick was an ER name. I was psyched. Patriots draft Duggar with their first pick. Well, I was going to quote tweet it with, I think you know where this is going, but I just said it anyway. I said hardly know where.
As for Emma Roberts, we can all agree that she is a shitty actress, right?
I don't know. I've got a weird thing with Emma Roberts. Like, I enjoy.
Also got a weird thing with Emma Roberts, where I don't like her when she's on the screen. I just
feel like whenever Emma Roberts is in a project, I'm intrigued. I don't know if she's a good actress or not. I mean, I wasn't wowed by the performance in Scream 4.
What about The Hunt? Were you wowed by her performance in The Hunt?
We talked about that, right? We both saw her being the first to go coming, right?
I did not see it, but I very much enjoyed it.
I was like, once enough people that I knew popped up, I was like, okay, these guys aren't lasting. These are just going to be cameo deaths, starting with you, Emma Roberts.
Her role in The Hunt was so limited that it is literally credited as yoga pants.
Oof.
That's who she plays in The Hunt.
Yo, that is some problematic energy out of The Hunt. So I want to get to some of my other favorite lines. So she kills Trevor, her ex-boyfriend, and
shoots him in the dick.
Yes.
And in the head. I don't know why.
Remember when go ahead.
I think that there are like two moments where I think this movie gets really dark. The one is like the incel energy out of Culkin.
Yep.
And number two is her shooting her ex-boyfriend in the head. I don't know why, but like in a slasher movie, everybody dies like a very grisly death.
Right.
But there's just a very different energy about taking a gun and shooting your ex-boyfriend straight between the eyes.
Do you know what the reason is? So I said that none of these deaths make sense. Do you know what her reason for killing her ex-boyfriend is?
No.
That they broke up. She says, here's a boyfriend that fucks you, dumps you, and doesn't even make you famous. Towards the end of the movie, she's very into, once she's revealed to be the killer, all she cares about is fame.
You're right.
And it doesn't make a lot of sense. But it does
lead the motivation for like every one of the kills, I suppose.
Right. It does.
But I want to know, in their setup of this like murder scene, how does it make sense for him to be shot?
That's a good question. Right. I don't know. She was going to say that either Sydney. Oh no, didn't Sydney have it for her protection?
Possibly.
So I think she was going to say that like Sydney shot him.
Okay, because he was the killer.
Right. She was going to say that
to be the killer.
She was going to say that he was the killer, and was she also going to make the Culkin the killer, or just another victim?
I believe just another victim.
Okay. So anyway.
Oh no! He was in on it. He was the brains.
Oh right. Yes.
She says that. Yeah.
Yes. But this is the best line, and this I don't agree with this even one word. But when she said it, I screamed out loud. Woke up like the Mars sandwich, birds flying away in my neighborhood because I screamed so loud. I screamed, an icon. I yelled an icon because the line was, I don't need friends. I need fans.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't make sense, but what a cool fucking line.
That is, I believe that Miller Lite or some other beer company like basically took that and flipped it on its head and was like, who needs followers when you've got friends, in one of their like latest commercials.
So that I'm into.
Right. It's just flipping it on its head.
They just took like this nonsensical saying and they were like, yo, what if we made it so it sounded correct?
Right. Yeah.
I love that line though.
I mean, it's all nonsense.
It also
certainly doesn't beat the walk-off line of this movie.
Clear?
Yes. Just the stupidest, most campy fucking thing
She's
of all time.
She's got a gun to Gale. So Gale and Dewey are in this movie, by the way,
Right.
having some light marital problems, but nothing they can't work through.
Right.
She's got the gun at Gale in the hospital because they're all in the hospital after she's stabbed Sydney and they're both recovering. And she's also, if you want to check twitter.com, she's also done the classic, the killer makes it look like they were a victim. So they stab themselves and shoot themselves and do all these things.
Just a fantastic montage.
Just a montage of just like, it looks like someone running around the house with nothing to do, which is why.
And by the way, we got to note, like, the slowest police response time in the history of police response time in a city that is just crippled by murders.
Well, I'm not sure if you know who is the deputy there, but that would be one Dewey.
I don't know. They show him literally right before that scene whipping the car around, doing a hard 180 in the middle of the street, and then flooring it the other way. So I thought that he would have gotten there in time.
I'm going to be quick because we're doing this Zoom thing, and I don't know when it's going to run out. This is exciting. We only got 40 minutes on this, and we jumped right in. So anyway, she's got the gun in the hospital to Gale, and Gale says, "Can I just have one last word?" And she says, "What's it going to be? Don't, please." Ugh, so pathetic. Like doing like the whole I'm in charge thing. And Gale's like, "No, it's not that." She's like, "Well, then what is it? What's your last word, you stupid idiot?" I'm like, yo, the second someone is buying time, like how somehow you've managed to this point. How do you not get it?
And they're also in the one hospital in the world that doesn't have security or doctors or nurses or any other person in the hospital other than the people in that room.
For all of, as you said, the knife wound victims.
Yes.
Of which there are so many. So she says, "No, it's just one word, clear." And she says, "Clear?" Sydney has a defibrillator behind her, gets her in the head, boom. And then she lives through it, by the way, gets back up, and they have to shoot her. So the real gamer that Jill. But I thought it was a good movie, good Scream movie.
I thought it was fine. It was like it had enough laughable things that made it redeemable, and it was entertaining all the way through. So yeah, it was what I want from a Scream movie, I guess.
Right,
not quite as clever or as like plot hole-less. A lot of plot holes in this one.
Oh, yeah,
and just a completely unnecessary Deputy Dewey's or Sheriff Dewey's deputy wants to fuck him storyline. Totally unnecessary.
I think they're trying to throw red herrings into it. They're like, is she a killer? Is Alison Brie a killer? And I don't know. There definitely seemed to be something going on with the two nerd kids. That it's like it's maybe one of them. But then, like as it went on, I was just like, "Yo, this is definitely Emma Roberts." I don't know why. I don't know what motive she could possibly have. It's probably going to be some stupid like. And she does say this, all I've had to do is hear about Sydney, perfect Sydney. I'm like, people weren't calling her perfect. They just got all her friends killed.
Yeah, they just felt bad for her because her life fell apart at the hands of a ruthless murderer.
Right. And then like everywhere she went, people around her decided they wanted to start dressing like the person who killed everybody. Like I also found it funny that like at the end, why isn't Sydney like, God, you are such a fucking you're dressing up like old killers to be like, why are you obsessed with me, you fucking freak?
I also like that the Stab Fest or whatever it was called, they're like, yeah, it's kind of an underground party, invite only. And it was like the biggest party that has ever been seen in this town.
Yeah, it was a cool place to watch. There's just like hay everywhere.
Yeah,
it's like a big abandoned barn.
Yeah,
I don't know.
pretty sick.
Pretty sick. Yo, I'm glad that we watched. I'm glad that we watched Scream 4. This was a jolt of energy into my life that I didn't know I could still even have. I didn't know that Scream 4 could light a fire under me. I guess as we continue to run out of time, I don't know. This is exciting. I like making these episodes a race against Zoom. Better Call Saul was, of course, incredible.
Yep.
Did we hit on that? We did the live stream after for a little bit. Excellent season. I'm now rewatching the season in which Saul is introduced in Breaking Bad, and it's left me with some thoughts of like what has to happen. For some reason, in Breaking Bad, Gus is cool enough with the Salamanca twins that he talks to them.
The Hitman twins?
Yes.
Okay.
So they must think for some reason that he wasn't in on the Lalo thing.
Right.
I don't know. It confused me because in Breaking Bad, obviously, Gus remains enemies with Hector Salamanca. So I'm wondering, like, do they just? I don't know. I feel like that one might be like there might not be an explanation. That just could be like a continuity error.
Yeah, but I feel like Vince Gilligan's got that covered, man. If this is even his show anymore.